I think my time has expired,
The-
but we need to
yes.
get to the bottom of this. And Mr. Chairman, I might.
Gentlewoman's time has
I yield back.
expired. Thank you. Mr. Massey is recognized for 5 minutes.
I yield to my friend from Florida, Mr. Gates.
Is Hunter Biden a national security threat?
That's not a question that would come up before me, Congressman.
You're the head of the
In-
National Security Division, so it seems sort of on the nose.
It's not in my practice or experience to identify individuals
Not in my
and
purview.
to
We've heard
label
that
any
before.
individual, an American citizen or any individual as a national security threat.
Well, you would certainly concede that if the adult offspring of the President of the United States or the Vice President were compromised, that would be a national security threat, right?
We speak through our filings in court, and we speak through our actions in open court. So I would,
Okay, well,
I would
speak to this.
remain
Where's the
in
laptop?
that position.
Do you know where Hunter Biden's laptop is?
Again, I'm not going to talk about any potential
Just
ongoing
do you know where it
investigation
is?
as I sit
Do
here.
you know where it is?
I'm not going to talk about any ongoing
You
investigations.
come here and you
as
tell
I
us you
sit
follow
here.
the facts and the law, but you can't even follow a laptop that you guys have had for 3 years.
We follow the facts and the law, and we speak in open court about our
Yeah,
cases.
but you aren't speaking about this. But you know who is speaking about it? The whistleblowers from the FBI who've gone to Senator Grassley and said that you guys purposefully take any information that is derogatory about Hunter Biden and you go and rat hole it so that you never have to speak about it in any circumstance. But the good news is you're not the only ones with that laptop. So Patrick Ho was convicted of bribing government officials in Africa, and he gave $1 million to Hunter Biden. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not going to speak about any ongoing investigation.
Is that an ongoing?
I can assure
is
you
that
that
an ongoing investigation?
I'm not going to.
Patrick
I'm not
Ho
going to
bribe?
speak about any potential ongoing
Like, don't you
investigation.
see that that degrades the country's belief in you guys when you have whistleblowers saying that you're purposefully rat-holing this information, and then you come here and say you won't talk about it? I mean, you know, inside Hunter Biden's multi-million-dollar deals with a Chinese energy company, Washington Post, Matt Vizier, Chinese elite paid $31 million to Hunter and the Bidens, Peter Schweitzer in the New York Post. Hunter Biden's business partner called Joe Biden the big guy in panic messages. Do you guys call Joe Biden the big guy at the Department of Justice?
So I think it's important to understand why we don't speak about cases outside of the courtroom.
But by the way,
do that.
we do
that.
I already know why.
Sir, if I may answer the question.
You know
May I
why you
answer
don't
the
speak
question?
about it? Because it's about Hunter Biden. You guys have no problem leaking about other stuff, right? Like, you got no problem going out and tagging parents at school board meetings as a national security threat. But when all of the facts and all of the law are before you regarding the corruption of Hunter Biden, you don't want to speak to that at all. And it's precisely why you've got folks that are talking to Senator Grassley about it. Bohai Harvest. So 10 days after Vice President Biden takes Hunter Biden to China, 10 days after, this long, toiling venture of Hunter Biden that can't get off the ground, 10 days after they go, he automatically gets approved. So for a deal in China with Bohai Harvest. Like, have you guys looked into that?
I'm not going to talk about any ongoing investigation.
Well, you know who else is talking? Tony Bobolinsky. Tony Bobolinsky told the world that Joe Biden was cut in on a CCP energy deal that was orchestrated by Hunter Biden. Like, have you guys talked to Tony Bobolinsky?
Again, we don't talk about ongoing investigations in settings such as this.
So Joe Biden, well, okay, how about this? Will you commit to a classified briefing on these matters?
I'd certainly be happy to talk to you or any member of the committee about matters of national security.
Okay, well,
but
is this a matter of national security?
We do not talk outside of courtrooms about ongoing investigations.
Well, is there an ongoing investigation of the annual fund dinner that happened where Joe Biden was Vice President of the United States and Hunter Biden holds his fund's annual dinner at the Chinese embassy? But in order to do that, in order to get the Chinese embassy to roll out the red carpet for Hunter Biden and to raise money for his fund, he had to go to the embassy 30 minutes before and have a one-on-one meeting with the Chinese ambassador. Do you think it's possible that that meeting might have jeopardized national security?
I'm not going to comment about any potential or ongoing investigation.
Well, here's the thing. It's pretty easy to see that Hunter Biden is compromised. I think every American knows that's a threat to national security. I think we're watching a crime spree in progress that Hunter Biden is orchestrating. And one has to wonder, like, what are the Chinese getting for the tens of millions of dollars that they're cutting the Biden family in on? What is the Chinese Communist Party getting as a result of cutting in 10% for the big guy? And I just happened to notice that, like, you guys canceled the China initiative that President Trump put in place, where you focus talent on those things. You know, Jim Biden said to Tony Bobolinsky that the reason they're able to get away with this corruption is plausible deniability. And that is precisely the plausible deniability that you are animating and exemplifying today. And you know what? Winter's coming. We're going to be in the majority, and then you're going to have to answer these questions for the country.
I find that troubling. I would yield the remaining 2 minutes to my friend from Florida. If that's all right.
Did anyone at the National Security Division encourage L3 to purchase Pegasus?
So I'm not aware of anything about that matter. So I don't know.
Oh, you are, because people who work with you have come and briefed us on it. And I'm citing, of course, here the New York Times article. Defense firm said U.S. spies backed its bid for Pegasus spyware. So Pegasus is the most exquisite spying software in the world. It's zero click. It can get at people's phones. It's been used to target politicians, journalists, dissidents in some places. And here you have L3 saying that they were encouraged to go buy it from the national security apparatus. It's very important, under oath, for you to tell me whether any of those people were at the National Security Division.
So, I'm sure you can appreciate I don't have any information about the public reporting. I'm aware of public reporting relating to that, but I don't have any other information.
No, but so what you're saying, is that a yes or is that a no? Because we're going to find out eventually.
I'm not going to comment any further.
Wait a second. Whether or not our own government used a private company as a cutout to go buy spying software that deprives people's rights. And what you're saying is, I'm not going to get a yes out of you, and I'm not going to get a no out of you, because you're just not going to tell. You don't think the American people deserve to know that?
I'm not aware of the facts that you're asserting.
You know what Pegasus is.
I'm not aware of the facts that you're asserting.
You know what Pegasus is.
Yes, I definitely have heard of
Okay,
Pegasus.
so you should be able to tell me whether or not anyone who works at the National Security Division was out there trying to goose some private company to go buy it for you guys to use. Yeah. Did you or did you not?
So I'm not aware of any facts that relate to your question.
I think you are.
Mr. Owens' time has expired.
Mr. Gates.
Recognized? Okay, nobody here.
I seek recognition.
The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gates, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
There is a secret workspace at the Perkins law firm that is maintained by the Department of Justice. Has any information flowed through that secret workspace to the National Security Division?
I'm not familiar with the premise of your question. In other words, I'm not familiar with the facts that you've asserted in your question.
So you're not aware of the workspace that the Department of Justice maintains at the Perkins law firm?
Correct.
And you can't tell me whether or not the National Security Division has ever received information that has flown through the law firm that is functionally the legal wing of the Democratic Party?
Correct.
And I just keep going back to the plausible deniability from the Biden family. And speaking of the Biden family, since our last conversation, Mr. Olson, a remarkable piece came out in Fox News entitled "Joe Biden Met with at least 14 of Hunter's business associates while vice president." Now, I know that you're not going to answer any questions about Hunter Biden with the ongoing investigation answer that you've given me previously, but is Joe Biden compromised?
So I should be clear, I'm not going to comment on that question because I do not comment on any matter that may or may not be a matter of investigation. To the extent my comments previously were construed as confirming an investigation, that would be a mistake.
Well,
I'm neither confirming an investigation nor am I denying an investigation. I'm simply saying I am not commenting on any potential investigation.
Do you think the American people deserve to know whether or not the First Family is compromised?
We speak through our filings in court at the Justice Department. We do not make allegations without going to court.
Because yesterday you all spoke through some leaks, right? I mean, recently you had Lester Holt interviewing Attorney General Garland, and Lester Holt asked him a lot of questions about whether or not President Trump was being investigated for January 6th. And just like you, A.G. Garland was, repeating the premises of prosecutorial pathways, and then lo and behold, the same day, the Department of Justice didn't speak through any filings. They went and leaked to the Washington Post that they were investigating President Trump. So it seems like when it's the Biden family, you all are all buttoned up with all of your propriety about not talking about these things, but when it's a Republican, when it's President Trump, you all love to go have your authorized leaks. Here's my question to you. Are you aware of an authorized leak to the Washington Post the same day as A.G. Garland sat down with Lester Holt?
No.
And you think, as you sit here as the representative of the National Security Division before the House Judiciary Committee, that we aren't owed an answer as to whether or not the Biden family is compromised? You just don't think we deserve that?
We speak through our filings in court. That's part of the rule of law. It's designed to protect the rights of anyone who may be accused, and it's designed to protect the integrity of the investigation. It's a central pillar of the Justice Department.
Well, it's one you violate all the time. I mean, even Mr. Horowitz, the Obama-appointed Inspector General, has given us report after report of where Department of Justice employees are off getting tickets to baseball games and fancy dinners with the reporters in exchange for giving them information. So can you at least acknowledge that you don't live up to that pillar with great precision?
We speak through what we say in court. We protect the integrity of our investigation.
You speak through what you say in court, what you say to the Washington
accused.
Post, what Jim Comey leaks to his professor buddy, what's kind of said between people at a baseball game where you guys are getting special treats and special treatment from the media. I mean, and so you see the political bias. We are living in a time where the American people have the lowest perception and belief in the integrity of the Justice Department since your inception. And it's not because we're asking tough questions, it's because you sit here and stonewall us and don't give us answers. I mean, just in this series of questions, you won't tell me whether or not our own government was out there trying to operate through a cutout to buy software that spies on Americans illegally and improperly. You won't tell me whether or not the legal wing of the Democratic Party was passing you information that was actually opposition research, then to be recategorized and repackaged as national security information. And you won't tell me whether the President of the United States is compromised when we know he's lying. I mean, like Joe Biden came out and said repeatedly that he never talked to Hunter Biden about business. And here you have 14 documented meetings. So are you guys ever going to investigate this, or is it just going to be what Mr. Thibault said, what Mr. Grassley said, and that is that you guys are basically political shills? I mean, look, this is what Mr. Grassley said. If these allegations are true and accurate, the Justice Department and FBI are and have been institutionally corrupted to their very core, to the point at which the United States Congress and the American people will have no confidence in the equal application of the law. Can't you see that's what your behavior is continuing to just metastasize?
So we don't conduct our investigations in public.
Yeah, you leak them. That's what you do.
You
leak them to try to smear people.
The gentleman's time has expired. You may answer the question.
We take care that the assertions we make about facts are based on facts and evidence and are not reckless and false.
Well,
that is the way.
This isn't
Gentleman's
false.
time
This
has
isn't
expired.
reckless, and you're just choosing not to investigate it because it's the
Gentleman's
Bidens.
time has expired.
We take care to make sure that our assertions and we make in court are based on the facts and the truth. And in the pursuit of justice, that's our solemn obligation. And that's one that I'm
Plausible
committed to
deniability.
going
Plausible
forward.
deniability. That's just over and over. You and the
Mr.
Bidens.
Olson, please turn your mic.
Basing our investigations on the facts and the law in the pursuit of justice is our solemn obligation. It's one I take seriously, and it's one I have taken seriously for over 20 years. And I continue to oversee the National Security Division that we will continue to do that.
This concludes today's hearing. Mr. Olson, I thank you.